Hello everyone, my name is Starkiller's cat and today I have for you let's just say a basic SFM tutorial. As you know, I see more people asking me how I do my stuff, and I decided to, show you how to not be a complete disaster while making SFM pictures. Posters and stuff. So I thought I made these shitty posters before, and I didn't really notice so much how bad I was until I saw other people's artwork, and I was like, holy shit, I'm shit, I have to improve. And that really pushed me forward, but I didn't really had too much tips. Most of things I figured out myself, and even if I had tips, I were on the team source server just to ask people who make artwork way better than me how to improve. They give real good tips. I think I might give a link to their Discord in a description below. Anyway, let's start with the most important things, shall we? In the source filmmaker, imagine that in source filmmaker you have like 4 deadly sins. Not, I believe it was 7, like in Christianity. You have here only 4. And these deadly sins are: first, using sequences for posing. Unless someone specifically asks you to use a sequence, don't use sequences. They are the laziest way of posing, and posing with sequences it's just bad, lazy, bad, and it doesn't look good because most of the time it will look like a screenshot. Of course, you can make sequences look good, but if you use sequences, use them only for posing hands and fingers, because posing the entire body with sequences is just a sin. You should not do that. You should avoid that at all costs. The next deadly sin, second deadly sin, is not adding any lightning. If you rely only on lightning from a map, you essentially make a screenshot from a game. And if you add sequences to that, it even more looks just like a screenshot from the game. Really, if you don't use any lights, why are you using SFM? Use Team Fortress 2 and do screenshots. It will be as good as your posters. Maybe even better, because lightning is essential. If you don't use lightning, well, there's something wrong with your perception of what looks good, because lightning really makes things good. You have 3 types of lightning for that even. You have normal lightning, which is usually to give some light to a face or something, or the general, composition. You have volumetric lightning, which adds like smoky effect. You can say that there's a kind of big smoke there, and light passes through it, and it looks really, really nice, and it reacts with collisions, so you don't have to do it later in post-processing in Photoshop. And you have the border lightning, as I like to call it, which is behind the character, usually with shadows turned off, just to add a outline to your character so it looks nicer. The third deadly sin is to not change FOV, which is field of view. Yes, I know. You probably didn't see that, of course, hidden from you FOV slider in a... I can't be cynical. It's so up in your face that you have to be blind to not see it. Of course, some people don't really care about it, because why should they? They don't use camera in animation editor, or rather animation set editor, which is where you have all the models. And if you place a camera there in that place, well, you have a whole new array of options. You have aperture, you have focal distance, you have field of view, COS bias, COS strength. You have so many options then that you should really now, if you have a camera, just go to existing elements and add camera, because that's something really important. And if you scroll through the emotions and the stuff a bit higher next to animation set editor, you have a lenses tab. And in lenses tab you have lenses that are like 50mm, 105mm, you have 80mm, I think, 25mm, and you can use those lenses as a better, more precise FOV slider. And trust me, when I say better FOV slider, I mean better, way better. I usually work on 50mm, but sometimes you have to turn it up to 85 and sometimes even to 105mm, so you know, you can not make the scene look a bit empty. Because that's what FOV does. FOV is like a zoom on a camera. You don't move the camera, it just zooms in. And it gives way better effect than if you were with a standard FOV and just move the camera in front. The fourth deadly sin is bad composition. People really think that they can place something in one place and it's okay. Like in the right corner, let's say a character in the right corner and they do nothing with him. It just is there. Is the main and they just post him and stuff. The composition then is bad. Not because he is and maybe his, you know, pose is bad, but what's bad with the composition is that the center of mass of the composition is way off to that side. But essentially you have to balance the weight of all of your props and characters so it stays relatively in the middle. The center of mass is relatively in the middle. It doesn't mean that you have to place all your characters, everything in directly in front of camera. No, you can have it slightly off to the right, slightly off to the left, slightly upwards, slightly downwards, but you should generally balance the amount of props and characters on both sides so you don't turn it into really bad composition. Well, very many starting SFM so-called artists have problem with that, and that's because they don't really see an issue with this. But it is a serious issue that makes your artwork, well, less appealing, less you know, nice. Now, as we discuss the 4 deadly sins, I'll give you some tips how to improve. First off, if you have a model that is from Valve, you can right click on it and click rig and then choose rig bipped simple. This rig makes you able to move a hand in a, well, any direction you want. But not, you don't have to spin it and every other bone in the body to make the hand look natural. No, you can just move the hand and it will automatically follow your cursor where you want. I mean your cursor, where you want the hand to go, there the hand will go. That's how rigs works. And that's really good because rigs make your artwork way more believable, because you don't have this really long arm, like unnaturally long. You just have a normally moving hand that when you move, it goes with you. It is a good solution if you don't really, you know, can spin every bone in the body, but there is one problem with it, that sometimes the rigs bug and he just start doing some strange things I won't tell you what exactly they do. You'll see most probably yourself. But most very important issue with posing are twisting bones, and that's one of the rig's malfunctions. The bones like to twist, and then they look like someone broke your arm, or that character's arm, and that doesn't just look nice, it looks kind of disgusting. So you can edit it with the gear icon, and there when you click it, you press show hidden elements. From there you will be able to see many options, additional options, but what you want to select are always the twist bones. There will be something like twist or something, and can be help or rather HLP in the beginning of the file name, so you will be able to know which bone are you currently editing. Also to highlight, so now another tip, and a really useful one at that, is to try to use the sliders, the bottom sliders on the characters. You see, characters can express emotions, especially hardware models, which you should use if you have TF Movies folder. The hardware models have way better face posing, which allows you to add way better expressions. And you don't have to use this happy big, happy small, scared upper, happy upper and stuff, because that makes you more limited. Because you limit yourself with this, as you could do way more with the sliders below. These sliders below are sliders of every parameter of the character, and you can customize way more. You can way more customize your own the expression of your character, and that's something really important if you want to have a believable and nice looking poster or wallpaper, or any SFM piece. And you'll be surprised how much better face expressions you can get when you use these. They are really one of the best and most important sliders, and yet so they add so little. So there you go, tips on SFM making. Also, I would like to say that you can use Photoshop to kind of make your pieces a little bit better. Of course, they won't make all of the magic for you, but they will be able to hide, for example, clipping, or they will be able to make your posters look way more alive. You can use soft light to make everything way more alive and interesting to look at. Anyway, my name is Starkiller's cat, and I see you in the next video, which won't be SFM tips, because that's only the one thing. And stop being an ass in SFM, just learn from the other people, and remember that you won't be as good as Stag, Doomsday or Tobias at first. It's impossible, they're the holy trinity. It's impossible for you to first up open SFM and do better things than them. Just don't aim that high, because the way down is too long and it will hurt too much.